So hi guys, this is FK. So there are some news that no matter how much you have expected it, it's still mind blowing when it finally happens. So Facebook recently launched their competitor to Twitter. They've been trying to get their own version of Twitter for a long time, or at least embrace what Twitter has done, do something like what Twitter has done for a long time. So recently, just yesterday, they released their Twitter competitor, which is called Threads. Now, Twitter has been very chaotic for a while now since Elon Musk took over. There's been so many random things. In fact, it seems as if they just wake up every day and come up with something new. They have thrown the roadmap out of the window, and nobody can predict their next move. And even when they do things, it's not even something you think is going to be have a positive effect on the platform. So, yesterday, Facebook came up with Threads, and a lot of people just started moving to it. A lot of people just started moving to Threads. Just like people have tried Mastodon and people have tried Truth Social, which have been very, very sad experiences. Most of them have crashed because of the volume of people that were coming over. So I also jumped on the bandwagon. Definitely, I'm very interested in software. So I opened my own Threads account, and I'm going to be sharing with you in this video what I think about the application and how I feel it would fare against Twitter, which is trying to knock over. So let's get the obvious things out of the way. How does it work? You basically need an Instagram account to sign up. So you need to have signed up on Instagram before you can open a Thread account. I think when I was signing up, I think I saw another way to sign up, but I think you need to have it's connected to Instagram. So you need to have an Instagram account to sign up for a Threads account, but it's totally separate app on its own. And I think right now it doesn't have a web app, so you have to install it on your phone and log in conveniently to your Instagram account. And the sign up process is very, very similar to what you experience on most social media platforms. You get to sign up and you get to set up your bio and all stuff. You get to follow some people. They mostly suggest a lot of people that you're following on Instagram, or people that have been trying to follow you on Instagram, so you can just follow them right away. In fact, I think there is even a button where you can just follow everybody you're following on Instagram, and then you get into the app, and it's very, very similar to Twitter. It looks just like Twitter, which I even believe is a good strategy, because they are trying to compete against Twitter, especially because of the situation that Twitter is currently in. So you want to bring people to a very familiar territory. So I don't have anything against the UI looking very, very close to what Twitter is to what Twitter currently looks like. So yeah, you have your normal they call their tweet a thread. So yeah, they don't say you want to tweet, you want to write a thread. So you write a thread and people can do the usual things. They can comment on it, they can like it, they can repost it, or I don't know whether retread is going to be a word, but they can share it to their network and all that. So all that is pretty standard, pretty similar. There's nothing to see there. But what I'm really going to be talking about in this video is what I think is their advantage, and also what their biggest challenge might be. So let's talk about their advantages. The first thing is that Facebook is solely in the business of social media. So they are not unfamiliar with how to run a social media business, unlike people like Google or LinkedIn or Microsoft or stuff like that. Facebook knows the social media business, so they can run a successful social media. They own they own WhatsApp, they own Instagram, and definitely they obviously they own Facebook. So they can handle the capacity. We know what has been happening with Twitter recently. They've been trying to even rate limit how many tweets you can view, giving unverified people 600, I think, then giving verified people 6,000. Facebook has the capacity to handle that scale, so that's one of the advantages too. They can run a social media business, and also they can handle the capacity. Also, Facebook always seems to have a very structured roadmap. There was even a time I heard that Facebook knows what they will do in the next 10 years. So Facebook is not going to be like the situation, rather, is not going to be like another Elon Musk that will just be coming up with ideas every day, firing people left, right, and center, and just making people uncertain about the future of the app, or what the brand they've built on it, the future of the brand they've built on the app. So Facebook has that stability, I believe, and they will be able to give us something more stable, something that we can really look forward to growing on it, something that people can trust to commit their time and effort to growing a platform on. But I think their biggest advantage is the current frustration of people with Twitter. People are really frustrated with the direction that Twitter is going. Twitter has a very high churn rate right now, which is evident in how many people immediately signed up for Threads. The first time I heard of the count, it was at 10 million. By the time I was signing up, it was like 75 million. So people are moving to it in droves. It's kind of like turning a new page for people. And I believe that if Threads can give people the same experience they have on Twitter, yeah, they have a very big shot. So that frustration with Twitter, the current frustration with Twitter, is the biggest advantage I feel that Facebook threads or Instagram threads, whichever way you want to call it, has against Twitter. So what do I think is Facebook's biggest challenge with this move? First thing is that Twitter was never about the app. It's about the culture around the app. So getting to replicate that culture for people on threads is going to be the major challenge that Facebook is going to face, because Twitter gives freedom of speech. There's a lot of freedom of speech on Twitter. There's a lot of freedom on content on Twitter, and people post. There's a lot of nudity on Twitter. There's a lot of porn on Twitter, and these are things that Facebook heavily polices on Instagram and Facebook. So I think that's going to be a struggle for them. I don't know the direction they want to go, whether they want to also leave it open for people to be as expressive as they are on Twitter. So that's one thing I'm really interested in looking at the direction that they're going to take. Also, the political impact that Twitter has had. Twitter has had a very strong impact on people's political decisions and even elections that we've had in recent years. So being able to have that same power, being able to have that same power to drive people's decisions, even not just on politics but other social issues, being able to be a driver of people's opinion, that is going to be something that I feel will also be a challenge for a big challenge for Facebook to replicate on threads. Another thing is security and privacy of information. We all know Facebook's history with privacy and security, so people need to be assured that their data is not getting sold or their information is not getting farmed for some big corporations out there, or for some elections, or for some people that have nefarious intents. So I believe that Facebook needs to reassure people that their data and their information is safe, so that people can freely share sensitive information or information, their own opinions on the platform. And also just have that assurance that they can trust the platform to keep their information private. So that's another thing, privacy. This is not even about what they're going to do in the coming days, but their history. Facebook has had a very bad history with security and privacy. So I think that's something they need to fix if threads is going to be a thing. Now, the last challenge I'm going to be talking about is just inertia. You know, we all know how it is always frustrating for you to move houses. You want to move from one house to another, or even to change rooms in an hotel. So that inertia of people that have already built a huge following on Twitter, people that have already built a brand on Twitter, they have built their businesses on Twitter, they have a large audience on Twitter, and a lot of them are even using it to feed themselves. They're using it to pay their bills. So to have those people come to threads and start all over is going to be a bit tough, even though people that are already popular are having it. I already saw somebody with 100,000 followers already. Threads just came out yesterday. So yeah, I think that is also a very big challenge. Some people are just very used to the Twitter system. They've taken their time to learn it. They've taken their time to build an audience on it and understand how the tool works for them, how to get the best out of the tool. So that inertia is going to be another big issue for threads going forward, how it's going to be adopted, how it's going to be accepted, and how it's going to be a worthy adversary to Twitter. So that's my take for now. Is every information I have now is still one day information. So if anything interesting happens in the coming days, be sure to know that I'm going to be sharing with you. See you in another video. Bye.